Hello folks, here welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to help you to build a responsive navigation or navbar. So the one that now you see in front of us. So basically if I try to change this to small screen, for example to mobile and tablet screens, for example, it should be changed to menu icon and this portfolio brand or your website name. So how we are going to build this, and we are going to use HTML and CSS and some line of JavaScript. We are not going to use a lot of JavaScript, so we're going to use just JavaScript to control opening and closing this icon, and at the same time showing and hiding this menu. And also when you click, for example, on this icon, should be closing the menu section, and same, for example, it will also move to that section for when you're clicking on any of this link. And so that what we are going to build on this video, basically very simple and easy, straightforward responsive navbar. Use that can be work on desktop, tablet, mobile and laptop. And let's go directly and try writing this, and we'll use this website to just mirroring this navigation. And also this will be list of additional videos that on the next videos will be doing this banner and same as this other section until the end of this footer. So we'll start today just this video will just only be focusing on this navbar section. So let's directly start to do that one. So if I navigate to different screen here and open your terminal, and now this main directory, I need to go to desktop and then create my project. Then here just try to write mk dir to write or to create a folder, and then your folder name. For this example I'm going to call it portfolio, and then hit enter. And that now your portfolio directory is created. We need to navigate inside this directory, cd portfolio, and inside we need to create another file, call it index.js. To create a file you need to write first touch and then index.js. And we need to create another file for the style, will be just a style.css, and another file, last one, will be main.js for JavaScript. And we can open VS Code in this directory by adding, just writing code, then dot. And now I can just maximize this screen here. And this HTML file index, this should be index.html, not JS. I just space this one, .html. So we'll have three directory, one for HTML and one for the JavaScript, and last one for CSS. So inside this HTML we can open this combination and this shortcut to write HTML body. And in here, instead of this document, we are going to change it to be called portfolio. So this is our website name. And here inside this body we are going to start by adding our navbar. So that will be with the tag called nav and with the class nav, and then the class you can say dot your class name. For example, this will be main dash navbar, then hit enter. So this automatically will create nav element with a class called main nav. And inside here we are going to create another div, has a class called container, so which will be wrapping all the children for this navbar, and that will be just div dot container. And this is how we can create a div element with a class called container. And inside here we need to create another child which called with an id called nav content, and also with the class contents. And also we need to add an id later so we can use this for scrolling. So inside here we'll have three children. The first child will be a div with a class name called brand. This is where we can display our portfolio name, and this will be anchor tag with the link will go to hash, just hash, which for home. And inside this anchor tag will have h1, and this will be your website name. For example, just I call it portfolio. This is the first child, which will be the brand, and the second child will be the menu. So basically the menu that we can control on menu list on the small devices to open and close that using menu icons. And here will be a div with a class called menu. This is a shortcut how you can write HTML element and with the class a very quick way. And inside this div we'll add 2 image elements, and each image elements will display. I will just add this here, and each image here will have a source attribute. As this source attribute will be displaying this image icon. For example, this will be menu bars, and the second one here it will be cross menu. So this is just 2 images. We can see that just a few seconds on the browser, and that what we have just basically and simply inside this parent child and another child outside this parent. So the next child will be an order list, and inside this unordered list we'll have 5 list items. And to do this 5 with the shortcut, we'll do just li, then multiply by 5, and then greater than, then anchor tag, and then hit enter. This will create 5 times, and the first one will be just with the hash, and the second one with the hash will be about. And then the name of this section will be just home, or this link will be home. Go to home section, and this will be about. So now we have 5 list items, and each list item will represent this section. And also we need to add ID for each section. So when we press on this element, for example, should be closing this section. I will add more actually details for this when we'll come to JavaScript. Inside this list item, we'll add an ID for each one of them. So basically this is the same as this list item, and just having additional ID. As you see here, we're having this ID for each section, and we'll use this ID as identifier later. So basically when you press on this link, then it will close the menu. So now that will not make sense, but when we'll get to that point, I will just explain more, and that will make sense to you. So that now we have this list items, and this is basically navbar section, and I have this here at the bottom. If you see go live, this is a live server. I can use this one to run the HTML on the browser, and that will be lively to update if I did any change here. And if you don't have this one, you need to go just here into the extension inside your VS Code. You can search for a live server, and then you can install it and add this one. And if I press this one here, it will should be redirect me to the browser. And as you see here, these are 2 images that I just talked about them, and this is a brand name, so it will be your website name. And this is the 5 unordered list items that we have. So let's go and add the CSS, and let's see how this will work. And actually we can divide this to 2 screens here. So on the right side we'll have the website, and first we'll start the CSS to display this menu on a small device, and then we'll go to larger devices. So we'll come back here to this style file. At the top I will apply the margin and padding to 0 for everything, and to do that will be start, then open curly braces, and this will be applied for everything. We'll set everything margin and padding to 0. As you see, nothing has happened. We missed to add this style CSS file to this HTML, and to do that we need to come here just before this title inside the head tag. Let's add a link. Just this will shortcut, it will complete for you. So basically the link and attribute called rel, and this value will be just a style sheet, and inside here will be your CSS directory, will be just style.css, and save it. As you see now that this one doesn't have any padding or margin, so that we set everything padding and margin to 0. And if you go back to this style, now we connected the CSS file with HTML file, so now we can continue and add more CSS for this HTML element. So I will add first at original here, I will apply additional standard CSS for the body. I need to set any element inside the body color to be a white color, and also I need to set over on horizontal position, it will be hidden. And also I need to change the background, all the background to be sort of light dark hash, and 3-6 times. So 3-6 times this will be light dark, so like this is one as you see on the front view. And I need to also to add some font family, and to how to bring font family, I am going to use Google Fonts. So basically you can come to the browser and try search for Google Fonts. Google Fonts, just spell that, and from here the ones that you like, basically you can select and then go inside. Will take to you inside here. And if I just open this large screen, and for example if you're happy about this, you can open this here and you can copy this and add it to your HTML tag here, just inside the header or inside the head tag, and then you can use this one to apply to your element inside your style.css file. I already have one here that I'm going to bring, so I'm not going to use this one. So the one that I got also from Google Fonts. So inside this heading and after this style, just I'm going to add new line. I'm going to paste this. I added just here description comment to say this is a fonts. So as you saw, this is the same this one. So I just copy it from another file and I bring it to here. And I added the fonts. Now I need to use this, how I can use our fonts. I need to call this font family. If I go back to this style, so everything inside this body will use this font family. So this will be the name of the font. So that's how that I can apply font. And also I need to set H2 and any paragraph to use this size. Any H2 will use this font size 35 pixel, and any paragraph will use font 20 pixel, and also the line height will be 30 pixel. And that it basically will start by adding a comment here for each section. So this section will be for navbar. So inside this section we'll add anything that's related to navbar. First we'll start, let me change this back to the size that we work on. First I will add the background for this section for the navbar, and this is a selector, which is a class that we just added here on HTML, this main navbar. And then this will have a background color just white, and everything else will be black, as says the background for the body to black. And then the next one I will go to the contents of this navbar. So inside this contents I will display as all the content to be flex. So basically I can control the content of this navbar, and then I'm adding a height for the navbar contents to be 100 pixel. As you see here, just the background now is changed to this height. And also align items to center, so basically to bring the content this to the center of the header or the center of the navbar. And this is the contents. So the contents basically this one here. I mean, if you see here inside the main navbar, then we have this here contents class. And next one, I'm going to modify the brand, which is the name of the website. I'm just going to change this size, this brand here. So change the size to 30 pixel. See, instead of this brand, so basically this will be all this div, and I need to change the size of this anchor tag. So basically will be this one here, brand, then a tag. And so I'm changing the color for this brand to be black, and also the text decoration should be removed. Let me see what's wrong here. And if I come back again here inside this, I have this, I am calling this branch instead of brand, so it should be changed to brand. And now if you see, the color is changed to black, and also this underline decoration is being removed. So I need to add the font size to be set to 30 pixel. So now if you see, I change the size, and that now I can close this section. Now I don't need it now. So I have this brand name here, and this is the list items. So next one, I need to set the menu. So after this, we'll add this selector, main navbar, and then this menu class. Setting this flex to be grow. Basically this menu will take all available space here, and then the width of this content will be just 100 pixels. So I can control these two icons, this cross and menu bar icons, or these two, to have just the width around 100, and also displaying flex. So basically I can align these items to the center of the position here, to be center vertically and horizontally, using align item center and justify content center. And also setting this cursor to be pointer, basically when I hover here on any one of these images, to change this mouse to be pointer. So if I save that, should be changing. So if I hover, if you see now the mouse changing to pointer, and also move these two icons to top. So the next one, I'm going to control the actual image to just respect the width of the parent. And this menu actually is the parent of these two images. If I go back to this HTML5, if you see here inside we have this, let me just collapse this section. And if I open this menu, see this is the parent for these two children, this first image and the second image. So next one will be the actual image. I'm going to add some CSS for the actual each image of inside this parent or inside the menu. So this image, each one of them will take width 40 pixel, height 40 pixel, padding 5 pixels, so I can add some padding around each image. And the Z index will give it 999, so this will make sure it always will stay at the top of everything. And also I'm setting the position to be absolute, so I can control these two items to bring them to here, and at the same time I can put them on each other, top of each other, so both of them will take in the one place instead of anyone will take this like a different position, and both of them will take one position. And here I'm adding this border radius to make it a circle, border dash radius, and the value will be 50%, so this will make it as a circle. And the background color to be just white, and transition will set left to translate the left by 5 seconds, and it will be ease in out. So basically when I press on the icon, you can see the effect of the transition will take around 400 milliseconds. So now if I save this one, and as you see here, we have only one icon here that you can see it, because both of them on the top each other. If I navigate, you can still see that two images still on the DOM. Basically this is the second image and this is the first image, and same of them on the same position basically, because I'm using position absolute. But for example, if I delete this element, you can see the second one, which is a menu. So both of them are available but on the top each other. So we need to bring this unordered list to take this position, as you saw on the demo here. As you see, if I go to smaller screen, and when I press here, as you see, we have this. We need to make CSS for this section. And if I go back here after this image, I'm going to change the first image opacity so I can control these two images here. Let me just reload this one. So I need at initial point to have the bar menu, and when I click on the bar menu, then change that to cross menu. How I can do that? So we're going to use two ways. The first way will be the CSS, and the second one we're going to use JavaScript and mixing that with a CSS. So the first one, let's see, just inside this style.css, I'm going to change the first child of this element opacity to be 0. So that means I need to set the cross image or the icon to be 0, so we'll hide that image and we'll leave the second image that available. And also I need to add another class here. So this here, if there is a class called toggle, for example, inside after this main navbar class, there is a class called toggle, and then inside this menu there is an image, the first child, or set the first image inside this menu to opacity to be 0. So that will switch instead of this bar menu to cross menu. And currently we don't have this one, we don't have this toggle class. I'm going to add this later using JavaScript. As you see, if I just search for this, we don't have any toggle class here. So basically we are going to inject this toggle later inside this section here. As you saw, I added here nav contents, so I'm going to use this ID to inject this toggle class using JavaScript. So next one, I'm going to add another selector that to change the opacity for the second child or the second image child. Here, as you see here, when there is a toggle and inside the menu class, the second child for this image sets the opacity to be 0. So that will hide the menu bar and it will show the crossbar. So next section, I'm going to change unordered style, so I can have this moving all these items into this center of this section, or also changing the background. So how I can do that one? Inside here, I will add this selector, main dash navbar, and this unordered list, and I will set the position, the first important one, the position to be absolute, and top 0, basically be over everything here, and the width will take the full width, and the height, it will take the full height, and left initially it will be with a minus 100 view height, so it will be outside of the view. When I click here, then it will move that unordered list to the inside this section. So, and the list style, so basically there is a dot here, so to change that dot all to be hidden by using this none. And also padding, I'm adding some padding at the top, so to just to leave some padding after this section. And also here's the text align center, I'm centering all the text in the center of this screen. And same as the background will be this color. And transition, this one to use CSS animation, basically when moving from left to be this minus and to be 0, then you can nicely see the effect and the difference. So basically if I save this one, you cannot see anything, that just will hide the unordered list item that was here. But if I change this back to be 0, it will move that content inside the screen. So as you see, that how it should be look like when I click on this menu. But initially I'm setting this to be minus 100 view width, so to take all this menu inside this left side. So for now I'm going to take it back again, so I can add some more stylings that you can see. For as you see here, this list items with a small, actually we need to change the size for each one of them. And also as you see, there is no any padding, and also we need to remove this text decoration and change the color. So the next one, before doing that, actually I'm going to add this selector also. I will add this another CSS selector here. We'll say when if there is a toggle class, then change unordered list left to be 0. So this will be switching from minus 100 view width to be 0, so that we can move the things from outside inside this section. That will at the moment will not work because I just set it also to be 0. We can see the change that we can add to this section. So after this, we are going to change an order list or the list item to margin button. So we can add a margin button after each one of these will be 10 pixels. And as you see, there is some margin after each one of them. Then I'm going to add some CSS for the anchor tag. So each anchor tag will have this CSS. So we'll add this selector and then an order list and list item, and then each anchor tag will have this white color, and also display the item to be block because I need to add this padding. And the initial type of this anchor tag is inline type, and inline type will not respect padding and the margin. So basically to respect that, I need to change to be displayed block, and also to take the full width of this section. So that's why I'm changing it to be displayed block. And the font size to be just 24 pixels, and padding top down will be 10, left right will be 0. Text decoration to save this unordered, this underline to be just removed. If I save that one, as you see now, changing the color and adding this padding and everything we just set here. And now that it basically, if I press, nothing will happen, so that because I need to add the JavaScript before go to next section. So let's go to inside the JavaScript file, and this inside this main. So inside main here, I'm going to define this line. So I'm adding this description here. Just this will be toggle menu icons. And first I'm defining this variable called menu using document.selector. By using this selector, we can select the menu for this section, for these two icons here. And then we'll add this also element or this variable called nav contents. So this is the one that we just added the ID here. That, as you remember, we added this ID, so we can use this to inject another class. If I go back here and to select that element. So what I'm doing here, when I click on this, for example, in this menu, then add event listener, which will be click. It will listen to click event, and then this element add a class to list of this classes already available in this element. By using this way, dot class list dot toggle, and then adding your new class. So basically that will just switching adding and removing. If exist, we remove it. If not exist, it will add it. If I save this one, and you can see here that when I click should be happen something. Nothing is happening. I need to see when I click here. I need to see there is something being added. So nothing is being added because I created this main file, but I didn't add it to this HTML. I need to add it to HTML just inside this body at the end here. Let me add a script, and here will be the directory go./main.js, so that now we add the JavaScript file. Now if we press, should be see this menu change. As you see, we now switching between bar and cross, so that now is switching. It's good. Next one, what you need to do, if you can notice here, can try see in this section, you will see a class called toggle that is being added and removed. So that's how we can control that class. And now we added this one. I need to go back again to this CSS. As you remember earlier, we need to set this menu initially to be -100 view width. We're setting this because we need to move all this section to outside to left side section as the initial point. If I change this to like that, if you see that so this initial point will remove all this section to the left side. When we're clicking here, it will inject the toggle class inside this section. When injecting that toggle, if you see here, I'm setting this again to be 0, and when left is 0, it will move all the things inside here. And as you remember earlier, I'm using this transition. You can notice that actually is a CSS animation actually being added. So if I remove this, let me just comment outside this, and if I save it and if I press this one, see instantly that is being just hidden and shown again. So to add some CSS, you need to add this to this element on order list. If I press again, add it. So basically that on a small device. But see, if we click here, so this will switch the URL at the top, change the URL, but it will not close this menu. Next step, when I press on this, should be take me to the correct section, which is here is right, but at the same time hiding this unordered list, and at the same time also changing this cross to be menu bar. How to do that one? That's what we are going to do now. If we go back to this main.js, and I'm going to bring list of selector here. So if you remember here on HTML5, on this unordered list, we added to each list item an ID, and we say that we are going to use this ID later, so we can select them using this JavaScript here after this line. I'm going to add, so this will select home, and this will select about, and this services link, and this project links and contact. So basically we select each one of them, and when you click on any one of this link, then it will do the same what we are doing here for the menu. Basically it will just toggle this class, it will add it if it not exist, and if exists it will remove it. If I save this one and I go back again here, and I'm now opening the menu, if I press home, you see that's changing to home and closing the menu, and same if I press services, changing here to services and closing the menu. So that's it on a small screen. But next step, we need to show this on the large screen. If I just now close this here and see, now this is now large screen, I need to show menu here at the top without using this icon. So what we are going to use, which will be media query. So media query will use it to control, so we can display different stuff in each different screen. We can define our screen, and then we can hide and show content inside that screen. Inside this style at the end here, I'm going to add here. So after this breakpoint, so everything after 800 breakpoint, then try to set this CSS. First, I'm hiding this menu for this icons. So this menu will be just displayed none. This will hide this menu, and I'm changing this on order list to be displayed flex, and also padding top instead of this number will be 0. If you see here padding top, I'm adding 150. I'm setting that to be 0. Position instead of absolute to be initial, and text align to be left, and align items center to align all the items center vertically, and just justify content flex end, so we'll move all content inside this right section of this navbar, and background colors to be transparent. So basically as you see here on, if I press here, this background is source of this color, so basically I need to change this background to be transparent. If I save this one, and now that it, if you see how you can see this actually over, how to know this over 800 or less. So basically if I go less, this will change to be this menu, and over 800 will be showing this one. How to know that one? You can open an inspector, and you can watch, actually you can watch here on this section. If you see that that is On the left here, this is the width, basically, will represent the width. So now that 400, 500, 600, I can use this section here also to expand. So now that's 600, 700, and 700 something, 779, and 797. If I just go to 800, that is changing, showing this menu. So changing from this menu bar to the list menu, all the list menus that we have here. So that's how we can build a responsive navbar. And also that is now changing. If you see, it's changing to different section. And also in the small screen will be changed to this, and you can show and hide the menu. And also when you're selecting here, it will hide the menu and go to right section. I think this actually also, I forgot one thing. So if you see here, if I expand this to larger screen, if you see this actually brand and this unordered list items that taking the full width, I need to bring this content in the middle of the screen. So I already added this container class here, as you see here on the navbar. Here's this container, but I didn't add the CSS for this container. So inside the style here, I'm going to bring the container CSS. So just after this B paragraph, adding this, so we'll take them, will be the max width will be this 1280 pixel, and the padding right will be 15 pixel, and padding left will be 15, and margin will be 0 auto. So this will bring all the content on the middle of the screen. So if I save this one, and as you see now here, we have this padding and this padding, and at the same time, if you go to larger screen, you can see that brings the content to middle of the screen. Now I have this here, this space and this space. Even if I go to larger the screen, and that should be continue leaving this content in the middle of the screen, and that how I can control all the content to bring them inside the middle of the screen. That is very simple and very easy, basically, and very informative. And if you are new to my channel, don't forget to press subscribe and enable the bell to get all new videos and content. And if you like this video, also press thumb up, and don't forget to leave your comment. Basically, if you like the content or if you have any feedback, so that will help me and support me to know more about what you got from this tutorial. And I will continue on the next video, basically to build the banner as you see here on this website, on original live website here. So if you see, this is a banner that we are going to build it on the next video. Basically, we'll build this full entire website, and each of this section will be in an independent video. I will leave the playlist URL for all this tutorial inside this video, and also will leave the recommendation videos, the next one for this banner section, so it will be in front of you. Just press that one, you can watch it.